Hey guys, so let's get started on some key concepts that you're going to need to understand really well. These are not difficult concepts, it's pretty much common sense. Uh, but when you say availability, disaster recovery, resilience, and all these fancy terms, all they mean really is how do you keep your business running? How does the eBay website does not go down? Like if the server, the database server, well, all the other servers too, if they go down, it's not going to serve business. So what measures can you take to keep your website up? So this is the setup that we talked about. We're just going to talk about the database server, but the exact same thing applies to every other thing. Like basically, let it be storage, let it be web server, let it be app server, let it be AI, anything and everything. So on the left, we have a primary server. On the right, we have the backup server. Now, basically, if New York has a flood, uh, your website is out. So what do? You open a data center in New Jersey and like basically create the exact same setup, and now it's getting replicated from New York to New Jersey. But now, once again, New York and New Jersey are very close together. So some bigger geographic calamity hits New York, it probably is going to hit New Jersey also. Then what do? You put a replica in Chicago. And so, like basically, your blast radius has increased. But now you face another problem, and that's the distance between these two. And these would be routed through a number of data centers all through the United States between New York and Chicago. And this adds latency, which basically means wait time in whatever transaction you're doing. So typical database systems, you have to make sure that data is replicated before you go ahead, before you say go ahead to the next operation or next transaction. Like you're buying eight uh, balls, eight footballs from, well, it's a soccer ball. Let's take a different example. You're buying eight machine guns from the eBay website. eBay had 10 machine guns in stock. So once you buy the eight, there are only 10 left. So somebody else cannot place an order for five while the transaction of you buying the eight is taking place. Because like otherwise it's going to give five to that guy, eight to you guy, and that's 13, and eBay does not have 13. So first your transaction completes, you buy the eight, and then eBay says, I got only two left. Then the other guy comes in, he asks five, and eBay is like, okay, I don't have five, you get only two. So the first transaction of somebody else buying eight needs to be replicated to Chicago before New York can serve the second guy. So the more time it takes for the transaction to go from New York to Chicago, the more time the second guy has to wait. So this was another problem with the regular IT infrastructure. Third thing, if you are a worldwide site, which is basically eBay, this problem becomes even bigger. Like somebody could be in the United States and everything is fine. Somebody in Africa can't even get to the website during peak traffic. Now, once again, like this kind of setup, only big conglomerates like eBay could use such a setup. Amazon could use such a setup where they're routing high bandwidth connections, like all these little arrows between those ISPs are very high bandwidth connections. So if you're a small company, you are basically out the door. You cannot even do business in this situation if you are facing these problems. So, like when we talk about cloud providers,